I'm going to talk to you about breastfeeding, whether it's the natural, nurturing way to take care of your child, or if it's women being exhibitionists and just wanting to show their stuff. For centuries, feeding a child was not a call for concern or debate. It was simply a fact of life if a mother or sometimes someone she knew gave birth. Before the invention of artificial breast milk or formula, breastfeeding was the only way to feed an infant. There were even women whose job it was to breastfeed other women's babies. They were called wet nurses. Cow's milk is often too hard on a baby's system, so it was not readily used and is still not given until a child is at least 1 year of age. Breastfeeding is the healthiest choice. Breastfeeding is full of the right balance of nutrition and antibodies for our growing babies. The first milk, or colostrum, is a thick, yellowish milk. It is full of antibodies and helps the baby's stomach and digestive system to develop. Colostrum changes to breast milk after about 3 days and contains the right mix of fat, sugar, water, and protein, just perfect for a newborn baby. Breastfeeding helps develop the child-mother bond. It strengthens and affects the overall healthy foundation. Skin to skin contact is important for a healthy bond. Many preemies are placed upon the mother or even father's chest to help growing, to help developing, to help the babies thrive. Women are shamed for showing too much skin when breastfeeding, but there is more skin in an average beer advertisement. Breastfeeding mothers and children are normally mostly covered up, but selling beer or cologne or a car, you have half naked women prancing around. Breastfeeding is beneficial for both mother and child. Breastfeeding is not only the healthier choice, it has been shown that breastfeeding helps the mother as well. It reduces their risk of postpartum depression. Breastfeeding also helps promote the bond between a mother and child through the skin to skin contact. Recent studies have stated that if 90% of families breastfed exclusively for 6 months, nearly 1,000 infant deaths could have been prevented. This is according to research done by the La Leche League. Breast milk is economical. Breastfeeding saves money because you don't have to buy bottles, you don't have to buy formula, and if you've ever bought baby formula, you know it's not cheap. Plus, the healthcare costs of breastfed babies is proved to be lower. Also, in the case of an emergency like Hurricane Katrina, breast milk is available, not only for your child, but another child that may be in need of food. If you can't get to the store, but you are breastfeeding, you can feed your child, you can feed your neighbor's child, and possibly save their life. Breast milk sharing is also an option that is starting to become an option once again. It used to be commonplace with wet nurses, and it is actually coming back into favor right now. Nursing mothers express their milk and share it with other mothers who either can't produce enough breast milk or for someone who is not the biological parent, like a foster parent or adoptive parent, or even a grandparent who is raising the children. Who is breastfeeding? White middle class Americans, well educated, older women are more likely to breastfeed than other mothers. Women are told time and time again that if they breastfeed, they are a better mother. But if they do breastfeed, they don't want no one wants to see them. The act of breastfeeding is considered to be an act of better mothering, but the act of public breastfeeding is thought to be immodest and disapproved by many. Some people actually look down upon a woman who is breastfeeding with disgust. They look at it negatively, sexually possibly, and even saying that it's animalistic behavior, that only animals do it. The entire situation is a contradiction to mothers. If they are a good mother, then they will breastfeed. But if they breastfeed, they should keep it a secret and never let anyone witness it. This is according to Acker in her journal. Many people are asked to go feed their child in the bathroom so no one would be offended by the sight of a possibly partial bare breast. Who wants to eat in the bathroom? Do you? Women breastfeed in public spaces. Women should have the right to breastfeed their children anywhere that is safe to do so. They can do it modestly, and most do. No one really wants to sit around completely topless feeding their children, but I guess some people do, but most people really don't. Many places are giving mothers clean spaces to breastfeed their children. They have nursing rooms in many restaurants and larger businesses. Even airports are giving mothers a space to breastfeed. They have these little pods that are for breastfeeding mothers to have privacy and quiet. They're Some of them are located in New York's JFK and LaGuardia airports, as well as Liberty Newark International Airport. There are several laws set in effect to protect a mother's right to breastfeed. In England, a mother can breastfeed anywhere she wants, and anyone who tries to stop her can be taken to court. In several European countries, breastfeeding is just seen as normal, and they don't really have laws set into place because people accept it. Additionally, in the Netherlands, a woman's employer has to provide her a nursing area and allow 25% of work time for the new mother to nurse her child for the first 9 months. Pope Francis, the leader of the Catholic Church for the entire world, has also encouraged women to feed their babies anywhere, even in the Sistine Chapel, without thinking twice. In the United States, there are two kinds of laws addressing the issue. One to allow breastfeeding in public, and the other to have breastfeeding not be a criminal act. While there's a federal law stating that there is to be a place for women to be able to breastfeed their baby or express milk at work for the first year, compliance with this law varies greatly from state to state, and small companies are exempt altogether if they employ less than 50 people. Only 24 states nationwide implement this law. Furthermore, it is not stated that the time allotted is to be any different than the already established break set by the companies. So sometimes they can get away with saying, well, you get a break for 15 minutes, do it then. But your breasts don't always wait for your 15-minute break. Breasts are fundamentally for feeding our young. People that are uncomfortable with things would rather not see them than confront their own issues. They don't want to have their child see someone breastfeed and then have to explain that this is how some people feed their babies. Some people think that breastfeeding is a good option for babies, but just don't want to have to see it or deal with it. Breasts were made for feeding babies. They are also a sexualized body part, especially in our society, but they are a means for feeding our young. Which is sexual? Feeding a child or this advertisement for gum? A completely almost naked woman advertising gum, or someone simply feeding their baby. Breastfeeding has been proven to be healthier for both mother and child. It is beneficial in providing a strong bond between child and mother. It is the most cost-effective and easily accessible way to feed a baby. It is natural and easiest for the baby to digest. Breastfeeding is a choice that every mother needs to make for herself, but if she chooses it, she should not be harassed or forced to hide to feed her child.